Gunny taps VAI 326, and a list comes up.
Is it all the gods?
That list reads Minnie, Thor, Freya, Bragi, Balder, and Hother. Although next to Hother, it's in red, and it says offline.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forge of Lore, where we tell stories through Dungeons and Dragons. That's the first time I've gotten to say it. Oh my god, I'm so excited! Anyway.
All right, thank you for joining. Have a great night.
I didn't say, but that's a story for next time. Anyway, so welcome in. We are doing our short rest today, where we are talking about last Wednesday's episode, which should be coming out next Tuesday. That's the time. And today, this is a special episode. This is a short rest because we don't have time to do a long rest right now. So a lot of shit happened last week, and we're just gonna jump right into a quick little recap to kind of make sure we're all on the same page. Obviously, it's been a hot second since we've had a long rest, but now is the time for the short rest. The Jotun Slayers have been on a whirlwind adventure through the land of Thorin, doing our level best to stop the ancient AI being Minnie. She's been hellbent on destroying the inhabitants of Thorin, and we've all been asking the same question. Why? We learned in Smeatheim that Minnie caused the war due to projections of 3.26 blah 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 % bullshit chance of survival of the Muspelheimians. She also seems to believe that Alfheim has a rather incestuous situation going on.
Hot.
With the information that they gathered from the Specky Library in Midgard, the Jotun Slayers learned of a Valkyr facility near Smeatheim that holds a terminal that will allow them to begin the process of shutting Minnie down and stopping the heinous killing. And that's where our story went completely off the rails on Wednesday.
You said anus.
What?
Anus.
Go on.
Heinous, not anus crimes. That's a different
Heinous?
thing.
They hate us because they anus.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna jump right into it. I've got a fun little start off thing that I'm calling quick questions rapid fire. So, with these questions that I'm gonna ask, they're pretty they could be pretty loaded, but just give your answer as quickly as possible and we'll move on. So round one, this question is for Steve. Did you find anything that the players did in exploring this dungeon surprising, or did we miss things that could have been really cool to see?
Yes and yes. Minnie, so the control room, the big room with our big robots, that was gonna be a whole thing.
Ooh.
I made a contraption in Tailspire using high volumes that I was rather proud of. That room was another beef flaker.
Oh.
He had to unmute
Now
to
it's
laugh.
just forced. Now it's just forced. That was all an
bit.
illusion. That was her trying to scare you off.
Sure.
Minnie's whole thing
Rude.
with everything that happened there was she wanted you to go away. So first she tried to kill you, and then she tried to like cave in a hallway on you,
Sure.
and then
As
she
you
was
do.
gonna
Also
try to
rude.
scare you using the illusions. And then that all failing, she was gonna try to sort of gain your sympathy, I guess, like plead with you to get you to stop stopping her.
Well, none of that worked, unfortunately, for her.
There was also a cool cafeteria, but that's okay.
if you guys
Was there
want to
cheese?
know
We
more,
didn't leave the dungeon yet, so we can still go check all that out.
We'll
if
see.
you guys
now
want to
that we
know
have the
more
answers.
about Steve's question for round one, if you want to know more about the room, submit that in the redemptions. Round two, for the players, in the experimentation room, or the laboratory, we discovered a screen that said containment breach, evacuate immediately. At that time, what did you guys all think was happening? Did you think that was like, this is a current issue, old issue? What did we think? We'll start with Tyler.
I thought that was old. I thought that was an old issue. Just rolling through the way it was already damaged, everything. Nothing, no part of Gunny thought that was a recent thing.
Right. Sam, what did Marcus think of that?
Both of us just assumed that this was a 1,000-year-old problem. We'd find the husk of a face hugger in a corner.
Right. Sure. I mean,
or whatever horrible thing was in that thing that everyone's like, oh my God, get away.
Of course, later on in the episode, we found out what that thing was. But Josh, what did Cedric think?
I didn't think that was a current issue either, because I figured if there was a containment breach, we'd already be dead.
Yeah.
Plus, I was too busy pressing buttons on the other side of the room.
Well, not to mention, if it was a containment breach and it was active, I doubt the doors would have allowed to have been opened and to let us in the room.
True. So why did it let us into the room to begin with, if that was the last kind of command?
Because you have
probably
a wrist thing?
Yeah, whatever sensors
What
probably
did Emmy
said.
think?
For Nifrim, for like just the slightest second, it was like, oh shit! And then I was like, oh yeah, we know that some sort of disease or something broke out with the Emir that took them out, so I figured this was like ground zero after a moment of thinking. All right, if anyone has any more questions about that, put that in the redemptions. Round 3 for the players.
If it was
also
some kind of horrible alien or whatever monster, I was just going to throw one of you in front of me. I'm kidding.
See,
I would throw myself in front and then be like, haha, and I'm better.
With the chemicals that were there, I didn't think it was a beast of any kind.
Yeah.
Just because of what Steve relayed, what was there as far as...
What if the chemicals were there to sedate it? We don't know what its biology is.
I mean, true. All right, moving on to round 3 for the players. What did you think of Turk's 2 videos? Shout out to the Grouch Couch and Turkey, the man himself. What'd you guys think, Tyler?
It was awesome. I love seeing Turk bring his Cali punk rock into Thorin. It was awesome. He even had a Thor necklace that he wore just to bring even more lore back into it.
Oh,
by the way, he just sometimes wears that normally. I've noticed.
He did an excellent job with the script. It was clear. I mean, it was bravo all around.
Quick note on that. When I sent him the script and the description and kind of a little background to understand what he's talking about, I was like, telling him the different setup and stuff, green screen setup and stuff. And then I was like, as far as like attire, just be you. You're punk as fuck, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. He nailed it.
Sam, do you have any thoughts on Turk's video?
With a mouthful of food.
Oh, you know what? Actually, let's go back to Steve.
It was cool.
And see if you had anything else you wanted to share about that as well.
I mean, not really. It was just he fucking nailed it. He gave me a couple takes in which one he completely knocked down his green screen. That was pretty funny. I'll have to release that outtake sometime soon. He just kind of knocks it down and just stands there.
All right, Josh or Sam, if Sam's ready.
It was dope.
What did you think? Yeah,
I like the fact that we can collaborate with the other streaming groups and just be one big group of people.
Right.
No competition, just teamwork and pleasantries, and I love it.
Rising tide raises all ships.
Yes.
That is the good word of Turkey
Turk
himself.
Is freaking awesome. How can you not like Turk?
Oh yeah, he's fucking dope. And legit, probably the nicest person I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, do you have anything you want to add to that?
It was nice to see, us collabing with other people. Obviously, always good. And, he nailed what, he was given. And it really felt like, this guy looks like he would be a rebel.
Yeah, for sure. He's totally a rebel.
I imagine the Emir being like uptight, like suited kind of people, and he's like, man, fuck you, fuck the system.
Fuck the system! awesome. Yes, he was so good.
I still crack up. I edited it, which means I heard it 1,000 times, but I still crack up every time he says, "We'll show those fascist fucks who they're messing with." Oh my god, yes, he just nails that.
The only thing I can add to that is I really enjoyed his performance in both videos, but the second one got me because he did this really crazy balance between comedy and actual emotion when he was like, no one should ever play God. Like there was like a genuine, like choked up, like emotion to it. And I was like, that takes talent to be able to balance those two things. That was fucking incredible.
As soon as he says the second line, which is, he says, this is a message for the people of Thorin and an apology, which I wrote that, but the way he delivers it, you instantly know, oh shit went south. What the fuck happened?
Yeah. And his hair was different too.
Oh yeah, he fucked up his hair. It was great.
Up.
It was lovely to key out. Lots of fun, but yeah.
I bet that sucked. But you did a great job of the effects and everything you added to it. The voice changing, the graphics behind him, like everything looked really fucking stellar in that, Steve.
He was in that control room. He was in that room that you talked to Minnie in.
Yes, I recognized it. That's really, really cool. Yeah, if you guys haven't didn't notice that, you should watch the episode again and see.
That's a loud cat.
Oh my god, that cat.
Meow.
Aww.
Someone should clip this section of us jerking Turk off.
Yeah.
Send it to him.
Yep. Especially that part.
On this session of Jerkin' Turk.
Jerkin' Turk!
Oh my god.
I like it.
Okay, so that was our quick questions rapid fire.
The one finger in?
Oh my god, Sam. Transitioning now to the meat and potatoes. Guys, we learned so fucking much on Wednesday. So first question I've got, because chat is not curious yet about anything. There have been no redemptions.
Come on, where's those questions?
So anyway.
I thought there were some, but...
Did I miss some?
No.
It's the Y is purple and...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For everyone, why do we think the other gods / AI, now that we know that, disagree with Minnie's plan? Why do they want to stop her? Tyler, do you have any kind of ideas, any theories? Why in the hell they're so against it?
I have an interesting one that just popped into my head, so I haven't had a lot of time to culture this, but
perfect timing, Mads. Thank you.
Amazing timing.
What if the other gods want to end her or take her out because she has stretched the limits of her programming so much that they are now afraid of her?
That could be. I love that. Sam, do you have anything you think, any theories about why they're against her?
Well, I think it's mostly on a case-by-case basis now that we know that they are AIs. Obviously Thor would be the AI who's programmed to protect, and he would vehemently disagree with the plan that causes so much death. Without knowing the specific without knowing the specific, things that they're programmed for, they all probably fell in lockstep of war bad, no?
Yeah.
So I think it's really just as simple as that. And Minnie and Loki are the two rogues because maybe that, she already said that Loki was programmed differently, and we know that she's programmed differently. Maybe they have a little more agency than she does, which is why they're trying to curtail her efforts.
Sure. That makes sense. Josh, you got
I don't
anything?
know. Just spitballing.
I don't know. That's kind of why I want to get them all together and see how they react and discuss things amongst each other to get more answers. Because, she's trying to do good. Not in the best way, but she's trying.
Yeah.
And it's not like the gods care too much about a loss of life. At least it doesn't seem that way to me.
Well, I don't know that we've seen any proof of that necessarily. But I guess for myself, my kind of running theory, I wrote all these questions and didn't come up with answers for myself.
Nice.
But I think that they were created to protect Thorin, plain and simple. And with the method that Minnie's going about it, it makes sense that they'd be like, no, a bunch of people are dying. We can't be doing that shit. That's not cool. Maybe it's more complicated. Steve, do you have anything you want to add?
Shrug.
Shrug.
Go.
I set you up for that on purpose, and you didn't disappoint.
I see you, boo.
Okay, next question. So Viv has a question here. Legitimate question this time. If the Emir language is celestial, how does the half of the group that doesn't understand it know what they're saying in the videos /beeflaker? Ooh. However you spell that thing Sam always laughs at.
That's actually a good question I didn't think of. I just imagine that the celestial speakers translate for them. And after the video is like, so this is what they said. Holy shit.
A bit of theater
So
of the
that
mind.
would have to mean the people at the library speak celestial.
Absolutely they do.
Oh, it makes sense
Emir
that they would.
specialists definitely speak celestial.
What about when the gods talk to us? They just talk to us in common?
Yes.
Okay.
That makes sense. They're changing or evolving rather with the times and languages. I'm sure that makes sense. We also have a question from Mass Dragon. Steve, what can you tell about the next episode, or will you just shrug? Yeah, do you have anything you want to tease?
I'm gonna shrug, but I'm interested to see what you guys decide about if you want to do anything more with the terminal. I have to say that is something I didn't foresee. I really did not foresee the moral
conundrum. Yeah.
And when I was writing, I'm like, yeah, Minnie's killing thousands of people. They'll want to stop her. Cool. End of story. But as always, you guys surprise me, and I eat that shit up.
Well, to explain my personal thing here, we had just watched a couple weeks ago a movie called The Creator. If you haven't seen it, fucking
Excellent
stellar.
movie.
But it's
Very
a similar
amazing VFX.
It's a similar situation of AI versus humans, and like some people just see them as robots and they're like, just kill them, kill them, kill them. While others are like, these things can see, feel, touch, smell, understand who they are and what they are and who you are and what you are. I just find that so fascinating.
He fucked up.
Yep, true.
Ooh, true.
I fucked up.
There's
I'm fucked up.
There's also that video game out there where you role play as different robots and characters. Know what I'm talking about? What's that one called?
Warframe? I don't know.
No.
Well, we'll move on to the next question unless you got it figured out, Josh. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
Damn it! I just had something.
Oh,
Then I
I'm
got
so
distracted.
ADHD's a bitch.
Shit.
Oh shit.
If you think of it again, write it down.
Talking
You started
about
talking about Creator, and I was
AI
like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was a good movie.
It was
Yeah.
good. It was damn
It was
good.
really, really stellar.
Oh,
I
right.
went in expecting good VFX. Good
Hang on,
story,
Steve.
too.
You got it.
You were all like, oh my god, what if it's a person? Marcus like, she is a person, but she's killing people, so I gotta kill her.
That's what I expected.
Which I do understand, but Nifrim's point and my point is that it's because of her programming. She is shackled by her programming, just like you're shackled by your own things. So she could be made better. Therefore, death is a permanent solution. You know, like.
But what if she's not shackled because of her programming? What if she's stretched her programming and she's testing those boundaries, and that's what's made her
go evil,
genocidal?
Yes.
What if the original programming was to what she was made for was protection and all of that, but now that programming's failed, her trying to find purpose to make her programming work is stretch the boundaries of her programming, which is what's made her into what she is.
Yeah.
It could be, you know, a full system failure. Once your original programming is no longer available, you're going to look to where can I put this box?
Right.
Where can I fit this box in? So I need to save humanity, but now that situation's gone, but this situation's here, so I'm still going to save humanity.
However, if she is true AI, I feel like that's no different from a human brain. As far as people change and evolve and see things differently, they learn from situations, they get better or worse, depending on what's happening around them. I think her binds are purely permissions. This is Amy's campaign for when the AI take over this world. I'm ready for our robot overlords.
I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why I say please and thank you to Google.
Yeah.
I do too.
She really does. That's exactly right.
I don't. I cuss that thing out.
Sure.
She gets
It depends on how well it does when I'm asking it for help. If it does satisfactory, I will be gracious. If it's not, then it will be scolded.
That's probably why it messes up for me all the time.
Oh my god. Moving on.
Thank you.
So our next question for everyone, why does Loki seem to be different from the rest of the AIs? Minnie said he's different from her and the other gods. Do we have any theories on that?
You're muted,
Tyler?
Josh.
Josh.
Josh, you're muted.
Alistair muted me. His head is on my keyboard. I was saying, whoever said that Loki was made by the rebels, that's what I think is. I agree with that.
I think that's a really good theory. It makes sense. He does have a purpose, just like all the other ones do, but
Glorious purpose, sorry.
he is different.
Steve did
Development
say he
and
was
entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, development and entertainment. So the development would be, you could see that as him trying to develop the other AIs by giving them situations that they can't handle. And then entertainment, that's something entirely different from any of the other ones. All of them have a purpose based on, maintaining a thing. Loki's one is change things. So
Right.
obviously he's going to be the only one that's different. And entertainment, who says we would understand how an AI would be entertained based on our own thought processes, whereas an AI might be entertained by something totally different.
True. That's a really good point. I didn't think of that.
Humans make the mistake of arrogantly believing that everything it thinks exactly the way they do.
It's true.
And, you have to let go of that and go, well, maybe they're not going to be entertained by
That's
that.
why we anthropomorphize like pets and stuff. Or
My cats are
favorite
people.
Your cat is not people.
My cat is people.
That reminds me of right
Your
now
cat is
in The
dog food.
Magicians, where I'm at, is the season where a very powerful god takes over Elliot and is looking to be amused. He's looking to play games, and his games and his amusement is like killing people, and he doesn't understand human emotion and why things are happening the way they are because he wasn't ever exposed to those things. So
What
it's
show
a
is
huge
this?
disconnect.
The Magicians.
Oh, right.
So the huge disconnect from what a god would think is entertainment versus what a human would think is entertainment is huge.
Oh, yeah.
But in this specific case, he didn't have a whole lot of time to experience what a human would think would be fun. Whereas with these gods and AIs, they've witnessed humanity
right.
for long enough where they would understand.
Interesting. Steve, you got anything you want to add?
Shrug.
Okay, we've got
We need a
question.
shrug counter
weird.
up on the top right.
Shrug counter! Every time he does it, he owes one of us a DM inspiration. Okay.
Nope.
So Viv has a question. I mean, Emmy has a point, really. If she's only shackled by her programming, then it's more complicated than anything else. But on the other hand, it could be a situation similar to Vicky from iRobot. I could see that.
Yeah,
Very
that's what Tyler was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Detroit Become Human was the video game I was talking about.
Yeah.
Right. I see. I've never played it. I'm sure it's fun.
It's
I
weird.
haven't
So,
played it either, but I'm aware.
Masked Dragon's question is, what is your favorite moment where your players did something that you did not expect, but you're happy that they did?
Honestly, this moral quandary, like I said, I didn't expect it at all. Expected you to go in there, flip the switch, and fuck right off. But you guys started arguing, and I was just, man, where's my fucking popcorn? It was so good.
That was real arguing, too.
Yep.
That wasn't just, like, for the show.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were
the
arguing with
players
each other.
disagree on what to do, and I'm eating that shit up.
I mean, I tried to keep that pretty separate, but, yeah, it is, it's a moral quandary. It's gonna, cause some ruffled feathers.
Yeah, if the player and the character would, feel the same way, then yeah, it's fine.
Emmy and I had a conversation about this, was it yesterday? And
Yeah.
I was like, just so you know, Tyler doesn't care at all. I personally do not care about flicking any of those switches.
Yeah.
Gunny, on the other hand, with the limited, whirlwind of information he's gotten.
Oh, yeah.
That the gods are real.
Right.
That everything is going on. He wants to shut them all down because he hasn't been able to trust anything. Everything has been his world has been rocked.
Poor
as far as nothing.
The last 48 hours has been insane for Gunny.
Yeah.
Well, I have more questions on that, so we're gonna hold up on that for just a minute because I do have a question for you later, Gunny, Tyler. But yeah, you are right. I did text Tyler because I was a little worried that I maybe came across as abrasive when I was like, I really felt that was how my character would respond. Like, I did get kind of shitty, which is abnormal for me. But I wanted to make sure that line was clear.
I know, right, Mast? Good D&D etiquette, folks. Always remember, check in. Whenever there's conflict in a game, check in after the game. Make sure we're all cool.
For sure. Let's see. Okay, next question. This one's for Steve. What was it like revealing the Utvarpa? Were you relieved to finally get to talk about it? What did you think?
I was relieved. I was curious what you guys would think about it, and the best part is there was so much lore dumped that big piece of lore you guys barely touched because you had other things to think about. The idea that there is an organic device in your head genetically.
Well, I just
synchronize with the singularity.
Oh, we got a hydrate,
baby.
folks.
Hydrate,
it's time
baby.
for a drink.
I'm feeling.
Me too. I had to get a refill, so I saw that. I'm like, here's my window.
Friend.
I drank the piddly bit left in my Gatorade.
The piddly bit.
You drank piddle?
Almost.
Piddle.
So that did
flavored
spark
piddle.
another question for me. Oh,
Exactly.
and I've forgotten what it was. Oh no. I can't remember.
Nailed it, Mast.
It was about the Utvarpa. Oh, I take it.
Utvarpa.
I have a feeling there's going to be zero information about that in the Specky library. I mean, we can always look, but I have my doubts.
It feels like if something, because someone's read everything in the, every piece in the library, someone has read. Maybe
that's
just
the
not all
fucking
of it.
person who shut Hother down.
So you'd think that something like that, there's secrets that you found in there, but that's people that don't understand the whole story. So they're just oh, well, this is, just what they wrote, whatever. I don't know what that means.
So
but when you have different info.
Right. Along those same lines of thinking, did you guys have any, how was it for you as a player to learn about the Utvarpa? The fact that that's what has been built into our heads to get us to Valhalla. What did you guys think? Tyler?
Well, I put in our general chat that, like, after that night, I tried to unwind for the night, and I was like, I couldn't.
Yep.
Like, as the
You and me
information
both.
came, the information came so fast, what she said, that I couldn't absorb A, B, and C. I was still trying to get my head wrapped around A when B was being talked about, so the
Yep.
next thing I could do was focus on C. So I had to rewatch just the videos and that conversation VOD. I started it that night as I was trying to sleep, and that made it worse. And but the Irvapa, like, how several questions, like, how is that programmed into us? Was that programmed into the Emir? So is it hereditary? But if it was programmed into the Emir and it's hereditary, all the Emir died, and then many recreated us.
But
so,
she needed the bodies, but she couldn't. Right? Am I right? She
her
needed
original
to create the
job
bodies?
was to basically genetically modify the surviving Emir to withstand or destroy the Indalok virus. And so literally that's her thing, is genetically modifying.
That's why she created all the subspecies of humanoids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like
and
elves and
from what
stuff.
she made it sound like, it's not like it's a chip. It's like built into our genetic makeup.
It's an organic piece of machinery.
What the fuck? What were these Valkyr and the Emir up to? They're up to shenanigans.
Shurug.
Sam, do you have any? Go ahead.
Like, obviously they were attempting to, ensure their own immortality, because one of the things that was mentioned is that they could be retransplanted into bodies until the rebels broke that. So they had every intention of letting the whole thing just die and then letting Minnie reinstall them and then just keep going like nothing ever happened.
Right.
So that's kind of like, if you've ever seen Stargate, the Asgard, whenever they die, their consciousness just gets uploaded and put into a new clone body.
Which reminds me of a show
Stargate
called
did
Upload.
this and with fucking Norse? I swear I've never seen Stargate. I
Hilarious.
swear I've never
You're
seen
a liar.
Stargate. No, I really haven't. It's one of my things I say where every other
Thor-
nerd's like, you haven't seen Stargate?
It's alright.
Thor
Sounds
dies
a good
like a
Sam.
couple
I want
times
to.
in the show.
I want to. It's on my list, but
So-
ain't nobody got time for
You
that.
absolutely should. And the organic chip thing, when I heard that, I was like, oh, so Star Wars, the Clone Wars. Great, cool. We all have Order 66 in our head.
Oh my god.
yeah.
Uh,
It's kinda like-
Can Steve tell me to just kill the others and I have to?
It's kind of like the show Upload.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
what I
it's-
said.
It's about, you go in, you have your consciousness scanned, which
Well,
in
yeah.
that show, it takes your head off or takes your
But-
brain out,
It does
and it
seem-
uploads your consciousness into a virtual
singularity,
afterlife.
right?
Which they had talked about that a virtual afterlife Valhalla was made, and then it separated them from the virtual Valhalla.
But
so
also it
maybe
seems
maybe
that
I'm wrong on that. Is the virtual Valhalla the real Valhalla, or is the virtual Valhalla like a fake one that we eventually did get separated from? Because you
I
said
will
something about the
say
virus
that
separated.
that Nifrim's father went to this Valhalla, the same Valhalla that the Emir were at.
Okay.
That's all I'll
drink from
say about
Mimir's
that.
Brunner.
That tells me
Mimi's
Nifrim's dad knows way more about all of this than he lets on, and now that he's there, he knows everything.
He
Now, spoilers for Upload. They actually end up.
No! I don't want to know.
No. We haven't seen
I haven't seen the whole thing.
Dude, shut
I
your
haven't
dirty
seen it.
mouth, Tyler.
It's
haven't
been
seen
out
it.
for a long time. Come
I
on.
know, but I'm busy making a fucking D&D campaign.
Okay, I'm gonna rein in the chickens. Josh, what did you think when you heard about Udvarka? Turk, you just missed like 15 minutes ago a whole jerk-off session for you.
Yeah, that's all right. Proteus posted
there's a clip.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Josh, what did you think of the Oot Varpa when you heard about it?
I kind of, it kind of clicked. It made sense, right? Like, I was like, that makes sense. Especially since we're talking technology here, not actual gods, so there has to be something technological sending us there, right?
Yeah.
But Sideric was a little confused by that.
Sure.
My cat is so annoying. He always thought that he had to like die in battle, but now literally he could get a cold, get like excessive diarrhea and die and go to Valhalla still.
That brings up a really interesting question because when Heimdall...
Which part? The diarrhea?
No. When Heimdall showed Eggard Haynes, he showed him cold, alone, naked, and afraid. So
yeah,
that brings up the question of, because Minnie also said that Hela takes care of Valhalla and Hell. So what is Hell? Is it?
Well, wait, that was actually discussed in the show, because I was like, oh, in Sideric voice, I was like, oh, so the Hell's where you put all the bad people, and then Valhalla's, and she was like, oh, you're smarter than you look, and I was like, don't tell anyone.
Hell
but I guess
is
my question is
the singularity prison.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like the mythology of Hell for the Norse, where it was just a boring place.
It is just a boring place. There's literally nothing there at all whatsoever.
Okay. Oh,
you're naked and alone for possibly for eternity.
Yeah.
Well, stemming from that, between Valhalla and Hell, Valhalla, if they were potentially able to bring brought back into the bodies, you said Hell is basically singularity Hell, so or jail. So would the ones that went to Hell not be able to be put back into a body versus what Valhalla?
Depends on their sentencing.
That's
my
god.
When this was told to Sideric, he was a little upset by the fact that they get to choose who goes to hell and who goes to heaven. That shouldn't be AI's choice.
That is a good question. Who chooses?
That's real quick. That is another thing that took me by complete surprise that I absolutely love is Sideric's feeling of betrayal.
Completely.
In all of this. I did not see that coming, but I love it. It makes sense.
So our next question, this is...
real quick before we move on, I forgot to talk about Marcus. He was entirely
shiny.
Not shiny, like he was entirely relieved that he's like, oh, thank the gods, I don't actually have to die in battle.
Yep.
That was a lot of stress.
What I ran into was my children dead.
It's true. It's true.
I love that.
That's like his biggest goal after killing all the other Kelris. Get to Valhalla to be with his family.
Yeah. Was anyone else as confused as I was that Minnie didn't even know why we were at the Valkyr facility to begin with? Like, this was the moment that I felt the moral quandaries began for my character. The fact that she was like...
what did she think we were doing?
I don't know. She just has been following us with the crows! That bitch.
Is there something else in that base that we should be investigating? Because it seems like she was being very defensive by what was there. And she didn't even know why we were there.
Say she's at every facility that she's at for a reason.
Well, she's at every facility that's got cameras because those are the ones that she can actually see. So
she can access,
and that are online.
Be anywhere at all time, that's what she can do. But I think her complete misunderstanding of why we were there and not understanding why we were there was answered the moment we went through that door and she couldn't see us. See the door.
Oh, yeah.
That answered the question. Okay, she obviously... There's some mechanical thing or spell work that is blocking this section, this room from her knowledge.
Yep.
It's a blank spot, to her. So, can we replicate that? Can we make ourselves mobily invisible to her would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh my
You
god.
can take the whole room with us.
Let's just take this room and take it apart. We'll just carry this room with us.
But now that
That's exactly what Cedric was just thinking.
Speaking of that room, now that she knows about that she can't see everything, things have been hidden from her. Are we worried about the next dungeon?
I don't think she understood. Even through Cedric's trying to get her to walk through the room, like into the room, I think she was just following instructions. I still do not believe that she thinks this room exists.
I think she does.
It's like a...
She said in the episode, she said, this is disconcerting.
Yeah. Well, it's disconcerting that she doesn't know where we went.
This will be the test. Maybe she's going to figure out how to break through that programming.
It was in reply to the fact that when Cedric said that she apparently can't see it, and she said, that's disconcerting.
And since that's coming from the DM...
I'm just saying, I also didn't expect you guys to tell her about the room. I figured you'd go in there... Like, be like, oh, sick, she can't see us, like, see what we're doing, let's do our thing, get the fuck out.
We could have teleported out.
So these other bases that she's at, is she going to send her minions?
Exactly.
Well, the other one that we know of.
There's only one that's working.
There are others that are working that it's just some are unreachable. One's under Jotunfoder.
Right.
So would she, the one we know of, or any of the others, would she send her minions in and scout those rooms to figure out where she can't see?
Oh, sorry,
but
real
we also
quick.
had to unlock that room.
Yo, bro.
Real quick, Viv said, wait, did none of her people stumble on the door? Obviously they couldn't open it, but why didn't any of them say, hey, Minnie, there's a door here, and she'd be confused? I would think, that there was no reason for anyone to be in the control room. I would think if that's the center of the facility, she would keep people out of there. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Also from Viv,
Shrug.
Okay, all the Viv was right, jokes aside, I totally was though. Was there any major hints about the gods being AIs that I missed in my many ramblings?
There were a lot of hints. The main one, which I think is when Emmy started getting suspicious, is when you told Odin about the override code, and he was surprised. An insight of him would have shown that he was worried.
I believe the theory
Like a
of
high
AI
insight
existed before that, though. I think we had been talking about it a little bit. That was
like,
the most solid bit of evidence.
The dusting is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not illusions.
But
I know there's others.
But that being said, we now know that they are AI, but we have touched them. They are corporeal. My theory still fucking stands that they dust and undust as nanobots. I think they're fucking nanobots. I'm just saying it.
That would make sense because how else would we be able to, could they show up around no technology? You know, Minnie is relying on having a specific, almost like a projector.
She's limited.
To get her there.
That is another big hint that seemingly no one got, which is what does the radiant capacitor do? It emanates energy, electric energy.
Yeah.
And it empowers the gods, meaning they must run on electricity.
Before Odin and we told him about the failsafe, that was my biggest clue. I was like, they're attracted to the radiant capacitor. It's not magical, it's techie.
See,
I don't know.
Josh thought that, but Cedric just didn't care.
Well, one of my ramblings on the nights you guys were over was, what is the radiant capacitor? Is it actual energy or is it magical energy? Mm-hmm. Like a magical thing that's manifesting stuff.
Minnie did mention, almost in passing, that the Emir mastered magic through technology. the same way that Nifrim does.
So did magic come first or tech?
I would have to assume tech came first if they mastered magic through technology.
Unless magic was around, but they used tech to get better at it? I don't know.
You know, that's almost how I made Gunny was, artificer wizard. I put stuff together tech-wise, but the things that I couldn't make work through the tech is what I've got the magic and the spell work for.
I think Gunny might be the closest current thing to an Emir. Legit. That's super cool. Well, other than that, if you want to look at it like that.
If you just want to put a blue tint on it.
Have you seen Cedric's rocking bod? That's a mere level.
Rockin' bod. Next question.
Just wow.
Unless anybody else had anything to add to that, talking about Minnie and the...
Speaking of the energy, though, it's interesting that when that city, the robot came to life, tearing everything out, the energy was gone, and magic stopped working.
Yeah.
Was there some sort of jammer in that robot?
Didn't we get an answer out of Minnie on that? There was how she was able to dismiss Thor. How she was able to dismiss Thor was about the same manner that why magic quit working at you, voter.
Yeah. How's it going, Fishy? Thanks for joining, man. By the way, there are more secrets that tie into all this. Y'all don't know everything yet.
No, but, I feel I don't.
One of the Bee Flicker videos show a completely different giant robot?
No, it's the same. It's not. You don't know if it's the exact, that unique robot, but is the same model.
Yeah.
The Devastator.
I love that Tyler's not even trying to say it right. It's the Bee Flicker.
It's the Bee Flaker. Okay, we're moving on because OG in chat said, where is Hother? Who got him? He's hanging out in Steve's basement, says Viv. Also, OG, I know you just joined. So you better be careful. We had a few people just join, but if you all have any questions about the episode, in the point redemption, Steve has placed a thing for 5 points. And that'll highlight the question for me so I can read it off as I'm hosting. But she just mentioned, where's Hother? My next question is for everyone. Hother is offline, not shut down. So what happened to him? Did someone shut him down on purpose, or was it something else? What do we think? Tyler?
I think I know. No, I'm just kidding. Go on.
So offline just means disconnected from the network. So shows that they are basically on Thorin, unless he's in a bag of holding. He should be within
my cheesy bag of holding.
He should be within range. The only thing I personally can think of is if he wasn't destroyed and killed, that means he's no longer on Thorin.
Ooh.
To reach the network. So maybe at some point somebody got one of the spaceships that we don't know about working and it has launched. Uploaded his consciousness portion of him into a computer and he's gone. Or maybe he singled himself out. Maybe he isolated himself onto an offline network and separated himself.
Air-gapped himself.
Yeah.
Oh, there was Buckles. Oh no, Viv.
Does animals have those things in their heads?
Oh, well, I don't think so. Sam, do you have any thoughts?
Buckles is gone, bro.
Bro.
Do you have any thoughts on Hother?
It all comes down to where is he being stored and how did somebody take him offline? Until I know that, I'm going to assume that, unless we can get a straight answer out of them when he disappeared, which I don't think we ever did.
One thing...
Yeah, a timeline, yeah.
One thing we didn't
He might have been taken offline by the rebels.
When did Hother go offline? How long has it been? We haven't asked.
See, I wonder if each day... I wonder if each base is specifically to one of the gods. Like, if the base we're currently at is like really the home to one of the gods. So if the other bases are destroyed, one of the other bases are destroyed, that could have taken Hodor out if that was his home base.
Interesting.
I don't think that they're based anywhere, because we've seen them show up lots of different places. Like, I think it's something kind of like cloud storage.
I mean,
they gotta be hosted somewhere, though.
Technically, I'm showing up at your house right now through your screen.
But they have to be...
That's what makes me think they're hosted on the Hodor ring.
It could be.
I think we had talked about this at the end of the episode, or maybe after
that's
we went
what I've
offline.
been. That's what I've been saying
in the ring,
and
Hodor can't sustain the energy transfer from the ring to the planet. That's why they get so act like they're on drugs, in a sense, about the radiant capacitor.
Oh, like Braggy did.
I think Viv's onto something. Hodor was Dr. Weeble Wobbles that left with side questers. Yep.
Oh my god, it's all tying in.
She's reading my notes.
The ring does make sense, and as if we're talking about AIs, they're hosted probably, I would imagine, somewhere. And somewhere that would have to be kept safe for many, many, many years. So my best guess is the Hodor ring as well.
Yeah, there's got to be like a server room up there, which brings me to my thought. I think
please.
he had himself unplugged. I think he either disconnected an Ethernet cable.
I think it was
from an IT point of view, where he literally disconnected his network so that he cannot be a part of this anymore. Because if he designed it, maybe he saw some major flaws and he said, "No,
personally air gapped
I'm
himself.
going to my own personal Valhalla over here, and I'm going to be by myself. I'm out of here."
You think because he essentially terraformed the planet, so you think
if he's
he was
a program, if he's a program, he can run without network connection. He can be locally run somewhere. He could be perfectly alive, separated from everyone else.
Interesting.
Yeah, but why would he give up on his program, his cause?
Maybe he saw what was going on. Maybe he saw, the virus. He saw Minnie starting to, he saw a lot of failures, and he was like, "Nah, I don't want to risk losing my forever home."
The hubris of the Emir has been brought up multiple times.
That's true.
That's assuming that he, would be able to defy his programming in that way and give up on his ordained task.
That's true. I don't think that he would have done it by choice, honestly. I mean, it's very possible. I like your theory, Josh, because I feel like there's a lot of credence to the fact that, seeing the way that the human race developed on Thorin could have been, a huge disappointment, and he's like, "You know what? I'm out. Peace."
Exactly, OG.
But I do think that there is a third party involved here, whether that be Loki, because we don't really know what the fuck he's up to, or someone else influenced by Loki, or who fucking knows?
Well, if you really want to go into the
justice for Buckles,
the actual lore on it, Hodor was killed by Baldur, or was it the opposite way around?
In the mythology,
Hodor was accidentally killed by Baldur thanks to Loki's trickery.
So maybe we're still correct in that mythology that Hodor was separated to an offline network by Baldur, tricked by Loki.
We haven't talked to... Wait, did we talk to Baldur?
We talked to Baldur, yeah. He was the one who got super ooh, the radiant capacitor.
No, that was Braggy.
Was that Braggy?
They all kind of did, but you did talk to Baldur. I'm pretty sure.
I thought we did.
He's the Matthew McConaughey sounding motherfucker.
Oh, we did.
You did. You talked to him in Orvar's apartment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
That makes sense. I thought that's where we talked to Braggy, though, but it could have been the same. I think we talked.
I think you talked to Braggy at the Beef Liquor. I think you summoned him while you were still there in the library.
So.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah.
And that's when he sent you into the virtual Beef Liquor of showing the
Beef
war
Liquor.
that was
my God! You're gonna make Sam have a heart attack.
That was showing the war that was
No,
currently
I'm just
going
not gonna
on,
laugh at
but
when
you
he says
guys
it the
thought
wrong
it
way.
was a fault, like a past war.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many questions that are still, like, we gained a lot of knowledge this episode, but there are still so many questions left unanswered and brand new ones. So I do have a question for Josh.
Who, me?
Yeah. We might have covered some of this a little bit, but you told Minnie that we could shut her down. Now, if nothing happens, will she be smart enough to know that what we're going to try to do in the other Valkyr facility is going to be like, what do you think?
I could have definitely upped the ante on the defense systems wherever we're going, because if she's afraid of being shut down.
Yeah, she's
Although I did roll a
Thanks for that,
deception,
buddy.
so she may have not known that. If she didn't see through it, she may have not known, and she just took me for my word. But, you know,
Right.
I see Steve's face. Shrug.
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 Real quick, what is your beef with horses, Steve? From OG Lava Kitten.
They're big and scary. I don't like them, so I turn them into mist.
Double O asked The Ring, don't want to type it out. What?
So, just because I don't want to type it, I just don't want to type. The Ring. So, in the Beef Flicker, we had a viewing of The Ring wide. So, I was wanting to see if we get some clarification from Steve on the ring that is stagnant now because it's not powered. Does the ring widen? On the terraforming process, it terraforms. That's probably one of the big functions of it. But does it like widen to shade to be able to give sunlight and night light when it needs to and where it goes?
I mean, there's a lot of features that we probably
Provides
don't know
necessary
about.
girth.
I will say that the ring isn't necessarily a straight ring like this. It's not necessarily flat along the edges. It may get wider in certain areas.
For specific reasons, because the planet is round, it is spherical.
Yep.
It's not a straight ring. It's fabulous.
So you're saying, so it probably not only did it rotate the planet,
You're fired.
it may have also spun around the planet. So if it's not,
The ring spins now the way it always did.
Okay.
That doesn't require power thanks to inertia. And gravity.
Oh boy,
and all
science.
okay.
that. Also, who's to say the ring isn't completely powered? We just know the terraforming's offline.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That probably will slow down the process of everyone dying,
Assumptions.
but it's still gonna happen. So, burning question. On
It's also
fucking
not
fire,
projecting the magic field.
how long until... That's true. How long until Steve either gives up and gives Sideric an elephant, or Sideric finally gives up on it himself? From Viv.
Depends. He's my boss in real life, so if he gives me a raise, maybe I'll give him an elephant.
Gives up. Sidoric's going to give up, take a few levels in Wizard, learn Polymorph, and turn someone into an elephant.
True polymorph is
I
what you need,
believe-
my dude.
Yo.
I believe Gunny has polymorph.
Yeah.
He has access to it, I believe. You got 4th level, right? Or
Oh,
Not
OG?
fourth level spells. I
Third
have fourth
level.
level slots,
It's a
but I don't
third
have
level.
fourth level spells.
Nifrim's going to be like, where's Hertha? I can't find him. And I'll just see me riding an elephant. Hey.
Hey. Sup? OG's over here spreading some whisper campaign shit. Hashtag Hertha's a
I'm a
bitch.
chicken.
And hashtag Steve is a chicken.
That sounds right. That's accurate. I can get behind
So-
that.
Hashtag Hertha's an elephant now.
Another question from Viv. Could the ring be powered by the radiant capacitor? I mean, it makes sense that it's like a battery. It makes sense that they would probably have larger ones.
That would take a large amount of power.
Solar.
Probably
It's gotta be
solar
solar.
power. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That
It
may
makes
even
Or
be
there's just
where...
a billion hamsters.
1
There's so
billion
many
hamsters.
Or
Infinite
a
hamster.
half a billion elephants.
Elephants
Hashtag
are only
save
like
holder.
twice as much
Yeah, it's
power.
That's where they're all
They move
are.
slow.
They're all on the ring, just running on treadmills.
torque.
Gotta keep going.
That's okay. So, like with Hother, I feel like that is the one bit that we really need. Because if he's not fixable, if he's not retrievable, if he's gone for good, then that changes how we proceed making decisions, right? Because if we can find him and reinstate him, then there's no problem. But if we can't, Thorin's like gonna die.
According to Minnie.
Oh, fuck off. I can't insight check that bitch.
That's
None of us have good insight.
Minnie.
Nope.
That's because
I have
Minnie
advantage,
doesn't
but I have
have
a
the
+1.
imagination to
It's just I
understand how
roll
to
shit
fix the
every
ring.
time I try.
Yeah. It's because you roll shit, period.
What's that, Sam?
Minnie doesn't have. She's limited like we think she is. She doesn't have imagination. Same thing with most of the other gods. We're assuming that we can't figure out what's wrong with it and fix it ourselves. They just, they're stuck in their programming ways and going, well, he's the only one who knew how to friggin' do it, so. Because they lack imagination.
Right.
What you're calling imagination is programming. They lack the programming to understand how to power the Hother ring.
I
Right.
think if we get the right people in front of whatever console, they could just
Beep boop.
beep boop boop.
Cedric's the right people. for
yeah,
that
if you
job.
know
deconfig, unplug and replug in the terminal, and
Deconfig. Yeah, I mean,
techno whatever.
if you know anyone that can reprogram high level futuristic terraforming programs, go for it, man.
I think Control Alt Delete and Task will work.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
scary.
Shit, that's in game right there.
Power cycle the Hother ring. There we go.
Turn it off back on again.
But I would also have to assume that any terminal or anything like that would have to be at one of the polar facilities.
There has to be a master terminal.
You're a master terminal.
I know.
Got him.
See, and I think that
I
might
just
be
press
like
my
I think
nipples and
Minnie.
the ring just starts moving.
I think
I don't wanna
Minnie
do that.
in the
I'll do
video
it.
where she was created was at the polar facility, which would make me think that is her host location, is the polar facility.
If we go up there, Cedric will have to wear a shirt for the first time ever.
Honestly, I don't know that we have any evidence to suggest that it was the polar facility. The only thing we know that happened there for certain in the Beef Laker was the conversation between Odin, Hother, Balder, and whoever that chick was who was heading up the program.
I guess I don't know which. I must be mixing a couple of the flickers together.
We just know that
It is
it was a place that had double doors. I don't know that we knew necessarily where that
everyone
was.
died.
Yeah, when everybody got the
Everyone
nosebleeds.
died at a different facility. That was the recording of Minnie's creation.
Yeah.
The recording with
Yeah.
Hother and them was at the polar facility.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So the recording with Minnie's creation, that facility is what I would have to believe would be her host facility. Like her
Right.
brain lives there. If we want to if I want to believe that theory.
Right. Well, that all being said, I have a fucking bone to pick with you guys. And we'll find out what that is after this break.
Hey!
Welcome back, guys. Here we go into our second part here of the short rest. So my bone that I want to pick, this terminal, finding out that the gods are AI. That was huge, but it was right. What in the hell?
Hey, Josh,
going
turn
through
on
your
your
minds?
headphones.
Tyler, what did you think when Steve was like, so this list pops up, and he started naming them off?
I was intrigued. I think at that moment solidified that gods were AI.
Sure.
But I immediately went to we can shut them down.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
My first thought was they're AIs, we can shut them off.
But why? Like, they've only done good, and they've been around for far longer than Minnie. Like, I see your point, especially as Gunny, though. Like, this is all a lot for Gunny, but I want to save that because I have more questions for Gunny. But Sam, what did you think when you heard they're actually AI? The confirmation.
Press Minnie's button and then destroy the terminal to protect the other gods.
Oh my god.
And hide the secret because nobody needs to know that shit.
Do we think anyone else in Thorin knows this?
Well, the rest of
Marcus doesn't want to approach the subject. Marcus doesn't want to think about the subject. Marcus just wants to make it go away.
Most of Thorin doesn't even believe the gods are real.
Well,
corporeal,
physically real, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if somebody were to know this, I feel like that knowledge would be protected. So it's not going to be common knowledge out there that they're a program. Like, we barely understand what that means. Josh, what about you? What did you think hearing that? Because let me just preamble this with watching through and editing the episode today. I watched Tyler do this. Sam did this. And Josh went.
Josh was on the edge of his seat, and I'm living.
He was leaning forward. He goes, is it a list of the gods? And Steve started naming them off, and he goes, what did you think?
Yeah, just shock. But also, I feel like that also made sense.
Did you see it coming at all?
No. Well, right when you said there was a list, that's when I was like, it's clicked, and then you started saying the names. So I was like,
all the math in Cedric's head, the formulas above his head.
Oh, I love that.
Cedric
And for that reveal moment, Steve, how good did that feel to finally get that off your chest?
So fucking good. I've been holding on to this for nearly
Almost
2 years. This is about when I started writing the campaign 2 years ago. So, I've said it 100 times. I love sharing cool ideas I have with people. And not being able to share this with anyone that gives a fuck or understands. Because, I could tell my parents, but they don't watch the show. They don't understand. They don't comprehend what that fucking means and the impact of that. Anyone that would understand or care watches the show, or it would be a spoiler. Or is in it. Yeah.
So did you confide in anybody?
Actually, Dave from Careful Cantrip knew.
And
I confided with him when we had our talk a year ago.
I know that this has been hard for you because Steve and I share everything, especially when it comes to creativity and stories and ideas. And
Nothing
from
I
the
love more
very
than
get-go,
sharing a cool idea with Emmy.
From the very get-go, Steve was like, "This is gonna suck until you guys finally learn some of this shit." And I know we're not done. I know there's still a lot to learn, but this was a big
so
drop.
much more. The biggest is yet to come.
I think Buckles knew, though.
Of course.
I think Buckles for sure.
Buckles knew. Why do you think I killed him?
I think Dr. Colonel Weeblewobbles knows.
Oh,
Weeblewobbles knows for sure, but that camel ain't
He's
talking.
Hother, so...
I mean, the camel does talk now.
Yeah, but not about that shit.
He's not telling anybody what's going on in Thorin. Oh my god, that's amazing. So, finally...
I would like to know...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go for it. I would like to know Minnie's reasoning for making all of the races. We know elves.
I think it was just experimentations gone awry, essentially.
I think that was the original time of trying to figure out which host body would be able to withstand Thorin. And singularly, one at a time, did not make it. But once her individuals started to mix, that's where the magic happened.
And speaking to that, she is working on she was experimenting. Good, nice. She was experimenting in the other Valkyr facility before she destroyed it, creating creatures. So that's tied in somehow too. Like, she's working on stuff that probably, like Tyler said, she's trying to get them to survive the harsh land of Thorin once the ring is gone. Or not working all the way anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every world's got to end at some point.
Oh.
Damn, fatalist.
Viv has a question. Steve, what is up with the freaking prose edda existing in Thorin?
Viv, my answer is shrug.
She waited so long for that question to be answered.
Yep.
And
you're welcome. Happy to help. Thank you. Good night.
Oh my god.
The more we talk about this, the more I think Hother's been gone since the Rebels were around, which makes me think that the Rebels had something to do with it.
Yeah, we have no specific timeline on when Hother disappeared.
Maybe
I can't believe we haven't asked.
Break the ring somehow.
I can't believe you haven't asked either. What's wrong with you
I didn't think about it honestly until tonight. Like,
well, Minnie's still
that's
there.
important.
You can ask her.
A timeline of when he went.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to find anybody who had any concept of where he went, and then I would ask whether and how long it's been.
So,
well, we can't confide in the library because, as far as the library is concerned, like, they still don't necessarily believe the gods are corporeal.
Well, corporeal. One of them does. She's seen them.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
At least one.
But
and she's also having an affair with Oscar. So
yeah,
fuck all the way the fuck off.
True.
She's seeing the gods.
They've been working a lot.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
A lot of long hours.
Long and hard hours.
Gross. You guys, that's my fucking boyfriend of like a week.
They're seen in the beef liquor a lot together.
Yep, they are all over that beef liquor.
No better time than to say, moving on, for Tyler. Question for Tyler.
Feels good, right? Feels good saying
does.
it? Yeah.
Why do you think Gunny wants to take the option to shut the gods down? We touched on it a little bit, but do you have any more to expand on that concept?
Well, let's start from the beginning in case I missed my train of thought on it, is with the whirlwind of what Gunny's went into, learning that the gods are real, which now Gunny hasn't necessarily been a god follower.
Sure.
So there have been questions of whether or not there is a god that Gunny follows. And creating the character, I went through a list and I was like, okay, well, maybe this one, but it hasn't ever been mentioned anywhere. So unless Steve has like a long-term plan on that specific choice, like Gunny isn't like someone who's worshipped a god. He's just kind of went through life and what life has gave him.
Sure.
And to be honest, his life generally being brought up and until recently hasn't necessarily been the best life. He's done what he could and found joy where he can. Now, with the whirlwind of finding out these gods are real and what Minnie has done, you guys have explained to me that Minnie is an AI. But I'm still new to the gods. So that confirmation that the gods are also AI, my brain went, Minnie is AI, she's evil, we're trying to shut her down. The gods are AI. What's going to keep them from eventually becoming evil and doing the same? Which is where he wants to take the action now to go ahead and hit that first lever as a failsafe. If they ever do go off the deep end, the first button has been pushed and it just limits that trek or quest of having to deal with it later.
Right. But the thing is, with all of the other terminals that exist, there are only 2 that we'll have access to. And since it appears that the gods are placed in different terminals at random. There's no real clue that we could ever... Oh God, Tyler just had an epiphany. What?
How does Heimdall know about the kill switches and which facilities have kill switches?
You told
Minnie
him.
Doesn't.
It was from the library that we learned
him the
that.
document.
He knew the coordinates.
Oh,
He
he-
read
okay, the coordinates.
He read the coordinates and looked at them.
So now there is at least one god who knows X, Y, and Z buildings had terminals in them.
Was there any human intervention when creating Minnie, or was it all the gods that created her?
The humans.
did. Odin
Oh.
reviewed the code.
He advised.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's the debugger.
Yeah, so, yeah, with the shutting them down on this terminal, there's no guarantee that we'll be able to shut them down because we only have access to one other facility. That being said,
on that same note, we've seen them lying.
no, they haven't lied. You should watch the show sometime. They have
they've
told us as much as they
dodged.
can, and then they've said, we can't really say more. It's because their programming prevented them from actually telling
You're
us stuff.
totally an elf. That's such an elf way of thinking.
Random fantasy racism coming from Josh right now. That's such an elf
Half
thing.
truths
You
and dodging
fucking-
questions are not lying.
You fucking
it
pointy
is a form
ear.
of lying.
Listen, Mr. Tech, because you're in tech. Come on. Think about it. If they're programmed to not be able to reveal, like to only be able to have this much knowledge to let out, they can't go beyond that. That's not lying. That's inability to actually speak to us, like, fruitfully. But they've also been nudging us in this direction to stop Minnie because what she's doing is wrong. So in Nifrim's mind, it makes sense what's going on with them if they're also AI like Minnie is. So she doesn't really see the need to be afraid of them because they've only ever done good. And if we put that option out there and someone else gets access to another terminal and shuts the gods down when they are doing good for Thorin, that's a problem, just like Hother. At least that's how Nifrim sees it.
There must be some sort of code that keeps all of them together. They're not separate. I don't feel like they're all completely separate. I feel like there has to be some sort of code or program that is holding them all together.
They can certainly talk to each other.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Act.
So maybe with Hodor gone, that's why that portion of the code is completely corrupt. Maybe we have to save him.
I would love that.
Somehow
I would
bring him
love to
back.
save Hother. We got a question from Viv. Did Gendry know? He always had a different view of the gods than the others. Did he know?
I will say, Eric didn't know. Neither did Gendry. No. Gendry didn't know much at all because amnesia, but nah.
Yeah,
Gendry didn't
I
know.
had
He
to
just-
imagine.
He just subconsciously hated the gods because of what Loki did to him.
I could tell you how he would have reacted.
Yeah.
I told you so. I already knew this.
Told you this was bullshit.
You know,
When did
I have a
Eric get
feeling
into the
that.
stream?
Huh?
Hey, Eric.
Oh, I had a feeling that if Eric and Gendry had been part of this scene, he would have gotten stone-faced serious and would have hit all of the buttons. He'd have been like,
I think he would have
down.
snuck back in later and did it all without us.
To be fair, depending on how things play out later, two thoughts ran through my head in those moments. Was one, oh, I accidentally fell.
Oh no!
Except for there's confirmation for each one.
The other, yeah, like I accidentally. Oh yeah, the other was I fell twice. The other was we leave, we find safe place harbor in this facility before we leave for a long rest. Then I cast invisibility on myself and go back and do it.
But okay, so there is.
If we don't destroy the terminal,
this is exactly why I wanted to destroy it.
But hang on, because like to be honest, when it comes to D&D, it is a safe space, and I don't think it's wise as a player or a character to do something that goes completely against like other players. I think it's good to find a common ground and make a decision together. Otherwise, that can cause conflict with the players. And I don't want to see that happen, you know? Like, there has to be a common ground. Sure, my character, I imagine, would do this, but is that going to create friction? Exactly, Max.
That's also
good point.
That's also why we're talking about it now.
Yeah, for sure.
These are thoughts that went through my mind, or through Gunny's mind, as far as what are my options? How can I make this happen?
Exactly.
But
and
in game, we're gonna have to come up to a
conclusion together.
A common ground on how that's gonna play out.
And I want to be clear, that's why Nifram wanted to back out of the screen so that no one could make a rash decision.
No one could forward to it.
It wasn't to take control. It was to go, wait, we're not agreeing? And I want to make sure that we're all on the same page before we move forward. You know, like, I don't know. I could see Marcus smashing the terminal or Gunny pressing buttons to shut the gods down. Like,
it's exactly why I was talking about doing it, because I knew one of these two chuckleheads would think about going back and trying to do it.
Me?
Right.
A chucklehead?
I also,
yes, you.
Yes.
Gunny also believes that destroying the terminal is just as bad as selecting everybody.
yeah, exactly. It's a permanent decision. So like, I don't know. It's definitely
What if we just
a
reboot
conundrum.
them? Set them
How?
to their default settings.
I don't think any of us would
that's
know.
where I was thinking. Like, if you shut Minnie down, can you bring her back on? And I don't think that's the case.
Right.
At least
Yeah.
not here.
Shrug.
At least not here. Because if we're shutting them down, it's not like we're deleting the code. We're just disconnecting them completely. There's got to be another terminal that turns them back on. Because that would be a failsafe. Why would you use the same terminal to turn it on and off?
True. That's a good
Probably
point.
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if oh shit, what was I
But
gonna say?
if we're missing one key portion, which is Hodor, nothing is ever gonna work right without him. They need to be
Right.
all working together.
The ring is
that's
essential
Cedric's-
to the planet.
That's Cedric's main thought process is they all need to, including Minnie, need to work together because they've pushed us into destroying Minnie, but I think they haven't told us the true reason why they need to remove her.
Yeah.
So I think we need to get them in a room talking and also figure out how to bring Hodor back if possible.
Is it possible like Minnie's original coding was corrupted? Like, and they know that? And they're like, we can't really explain this, we can't really talk about it, but she's corrupt and she needs to go down.
Maybe. Or just the coding didn't take into consideration the current events. And so that it's free flowing, doing its own thing.
True.
Well, that kind of puts in mind if you were to put somebody into a flash freeze state to survive for thousands of years with a goal in mind that when they wake up they need to do X, Y, and Z things, but when they wake up, X, Y, and Z things are no longer even like
viable,
possible. But that's what they were like told to do, so that's all they know when they wake up is I gotta go and do these things. But I wonder about Minnie as far as like she's an AI, but now knowing that all the other gods are AI, I wonder if Minnie exists in lore under a different name and Steve just rebranded her.
Minnie is not from Norse mythology. She is an original creation.
All right.
Steve
Love that.
mythology.
Yeah,
Steve mythology.
Steveology.
Yeah. I've been
Chapter
re-listening
1, Shrug.
to the show
Sorry.
again. And we just had our moment in Ragnarok. And, like, the whole thing with the robot and magic being completely cut off. My question is, the gods are more technology. Oh, God, I don't know how to form the question that I'm trying to ask. Why was magic gone? Like, what do you guys think? Why was it just fucking gone? Because that's a huge... It's a city. Was it just the robot?
Be like a jammer of some sort.
Disruption tech.
Yeah.
I always thought a jammer would be really good to get our hands on. Especially
Kinda
with
like
cameras and mini.
My headphones, if I turn on the microwave, it disrupts
You piss your pants?
the wireless.
Oh.
No, it disrupts
Wait,
the
what?
wireless. So I can't even hear you guys. So when I was using the microwave while I was cooking, I couldn't hear what you guys were talking about. Kind of like that. It's a flood of whatever kind of energy that negates magic. You know, it kind of disrupts it so that it can't work.
Fun fact, an electrical jammer, like a radio jammer, doesn't like negate the signal or anything. It fucking floods it,
Yeah.
like in real life.
So if you go back to the idea that they mastered magic through technology, so that makes you wonder if all magic has a source that is technology. You know, I still have the theory that maybe magic was emitted from the Other Ring. So if it is more like a jammer or a what am I thinking of? A bomb that just kind of disrupts
EMP?
all. Yeah, an EMP. So maybe the Yellowhorn sound is on a frequency level that just jams all those signals.
Yeah, the Satherfield, to be clear, have we learned yet if that is magic? Like, that is what...
Sather is the Norse word for magic.
Maybe there was some kind of frequency that disrupted the Satherfield in a, like, specific zone, like Jotunfoder.
I have a question. Feel free to answer or shrug. Has the planet always been tidally locked?
Yes.
Okay. Never mind then.
It is so difficult to stop a spinning planet, and it doesn't happen naturally. That's inertia, baby!
Yeah, I know, but like, at any point did
Consider
it
it can
ever
stop
have that? Like, it was spinning on its own.
It is never spun more than its orbital period.
So another thing that I thought of rewatching the episode was the Emir. In some of their oldest writings, they talked about the gods. And I am curious if they modeled the AI after an existing celestial body of gods. Or if it was just completely out of necessity for the planet. Also, where
Their
the fuck did
oldest
they come
writing?
from? Yeah.
Their oldest writing or the writing
That we
the oldest
have.
writing we could find?
Yeah, kind of
Yes.
like you're asking what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Exactly.
The actual stories of the gods or the AI gods,
Yeah.
and the stories
Precisely.
were based off of them.
What did they say about the gods, dude?
It was the Eddas, like what we have
The
on
Eddas were the
Earth.
earliest mentioning of the gods. And that is Ymir.
And also the beginning of the Ymir, we have no fucking clue. We know that they lived underground and that they were able to come up essentially because of terraforming the planet. Why were they here? Were they always underground? How did life develop on this fucking planet? Or did they come from somewhere else? What
Wait,
is
could we go back to living underground?
I mean, that seems like a viable response to this shit is breaking.
I think that
Back in my
was
hole.
asked, and the idea was it wasn't viable. It wasn't a good long-term plan.
Nifrim sleeps
It
in the
was not
sand.
asked. Oh my god, ahead of the curve.
I've always said it was safe.
So, the reason why I was asking about whether or not the planet ever spun is because what if the spinning of the planet generates a magical field, kind of like how the spinning of the core of our planet and spins our planet, which creates the ionosphere and the magnetosphere.
It's the core that creates a magnetic
Yeah.
field. The planet doesn't necessarily have to spin for magnetic field.
Yeah. But
Welcome to Science
let's just say
Talks
that
with
it
Ford
does, and
I'll be in
like
astrophysics.
maybe the Emir came from another planet, which is how they knew how to create the magnetosphere, and let's just say the magnetosphere is magic, then the Hothering is artificially generating it because the planet isn't capable, or they just hadn't gotten around to fixing it before they died off.
Oof, I like that. What's up, Tyler?
So, doesn't a spinning planet create gravity?
No, mass creates gravity. In fact, the fact that the Earth spins lessens gravity. If Earth were to stop spinning for some reason, first of all, everyone would fucking die. Second of all, we would be much heavier. Much heavier.
Forward?
Fun. Yes, we would. Fun fact: you are slightly heavier slightly lighter at the equator of Earth because it's oblong. It's not a perfect sphere. You are slightly lighter at the equator than you
wanna move to
are
the
in,
equator?
say, Indiana.
No. I spent 5 minutes at the
They are
equator and I
moving-
turned beet red.
It's
You
because they're
did?
moving faster to go around the same rotation, kind of like a wagon wheel, and therefore they have more centrifugal force lifting them off of Earth. But
Everything-
gravity-
So you would
Everything
be
has
heavier
gravity.
at one of the poles then.
Say again?
You would be heavier at one of the poles?
Yes, you are heaviest at the pole,
Let's not go there.
Tyler, even you have gravity.
or in a cave.
All bits of mass has gravity.
Woo!
Just the bigger the mass is.
Bitches,
the
I'm
stronger the
gravitational as fuck.
Is that why all the mosquitoes come to me?
Yes. And fun
Actually-
fact, the gravity is just a bending of space-time. Anyway,
So,
Take that! I got science up in this bitch.
I love
Steve,
science.
magnets, bitch. Steve, do you realize now that all of your shrugs are just going to encourage Viv's theories even more?
Shrug.
I will point out, Viv, he has shrugged to things you were wrong about.
Shrug?
I think
The
Viv
whole
is just the
point
one
of
writing the
Shrug-
story.
The whole point of Shrug is it doesn't give anything away.
What's that, Josh?
I think Viv's writing the story.
Yes.
She's given
Steve, I mean,
Steve
please,
the
her
ideas, and
notes.
Steve's like, "That's a good idea."
Fucking good idea. Tap, 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 tap. I haven't written shit for this campaign.
He has told me
Viv, how much has he paid you?
that he has taken screenshots of when people have guessed things right. I haven't seen it myself, obviously, but some of us
we have a
have gotten
compilation
shit
coming?
right.
Maybe.
Huh?
If I can
A
find them all.
compilation?
Ooh. Steve organized that shit for fucking real. Yeah.
It's all my
So
screenshots.
I guess at this point, is there a bigger bitch in Thorin than Anvari? I think so.
Buckles.
Shrug.
Buckles? How dare you?
No, Buckles
How
isn't on
dare
Thorin.
you? He's dead.
Yes, he is.
Obviously,
Sorry.
it's basically every member of the Calrus family, duh.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes
Steve,
sense.
speaking of Anvari, creating the character, who made Anvari that big of a bitch? I can't remember if it was a joint discussion of Gunny's upbringing or
It
if
was-
I just did that live.
It was kind of a mix between both of us. When creating Gunny, we talked about, like, I was like, okay, so what's Gunny's deal? He's working for Anvari, and you were like, yeah, and he treats me like shit. He's an asshole about it. And I'm like, okay, so why would you stay? And you're like, don't know anything else, and I find ways to make myself happy.
Tyler, everything okay in the workplace?
Modeled after past workplaces. There is always a little truth in art.
I gotta
Fantasy
say, when
is
Gunny
always
was
a modicum of truth.
When Tyler was coming up with Gunny as his character, he was here at our house, and I definitely had to hide for several things because I did not want to hear shit. Yep. I wanted to be like surprised by Gunny, and I have been so far. I really enjoy the character. And
I'll say that Anvari wasn't as much of a self-righteous asshole until you made Gunny and talked about how he treated you like shit, and I'm like, okay, time to make him a real Hertha.
So with that being
zoomed
said,
in on that Tailspire model, the face.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that comes with Tailspire. That's a default fucking face, you assholes.
That
Someone
is
made
in my
that.
movie. He is a person in the movie
Thanks,
theater
Viv.
somewhere. By the way,
oh my god.
Oh,
And he's a
boy.
real dick.
But all of that being said,
Asshole.
Is he Danny,
no,
the janitor?
oh
no,
oh my
that being
god,
said,
Danny.
poetry. I'm really, I want to say that I'm really glad, Tyler, that you joined this show. I think you're such a good fit, and it's been a blast so far. And I feel that way about all of you. Like, it's been
what
a
about
crazy
me?
2 years.
I think I was the best.
I'm old. Yeah. So I have one final question, and then I think we'll call it a night, and or like leave the floor open to anything else you guys want to discuss. But my final question is this: what the fuck are we supposed to do now? We're at a standstill.
What
What
a
are we
good
doing?
question. What are you guys
Jerking
gonna
for
do?
Turk.
Jerking for Turk. And
What
There
are we
we
gonna
go.
do? I think that's a story for next time.
Exactly. Don't you dare take this from me, Tyler.
Tug Turk time.
No, is there anything else
Tug
you
a
guys
Turk.
would like to discuss that wasn't asked here, or that you've been thinking about
I'm
since
curious,
Wednesday?
any thoughts on the name? It was like I mentioned this to Emmy Wednesday night, but it was a machine gun, a downpour of lore. So some things kind of got skimmed over. Who the fuck is General Jones?
And to be clear, because I
We're
think
gonna find
Josh
that out.
misunderstood from what I watched of the episode, General Jones didn't create the terminal. That's my Fregna device.
She
My
logged
Fregna
into the
device
terminal
was his.
with her Fregna device
Oh.
Yeah.
that gave the login of General Jones.
Oh.
Yep.
So
Which-
General Jones would have been the head military.
Well, one of them.
I'm assuming of that facility.
He was a general.
Now,
You have a lot of access,
He could
dude.
have been general, would be high up there, so he may be the highest of the Valkyr military.
means
I
you can
will
get into
say
some pretty
also
high-level
that
stuff.
he did not die there. I found my Fregna device somewhere in Alfheim in ruins near my home.
Maybe we need to go back there.
Oh, so are you saying that your Fregna device was General Jones's
Yes.
personal?
Yeah.
Yes.
It logged into the
Okay.
terminal as General Jones.
And you had access to shut those down. That means we need to go back to that Rowan. I think that's
Which
where we
means
should go next.
you have the master password for everything. That's Valkyr in a sense.
Maybe not
now
everything,
we know
but
what-
definitely good access.
Because now we know what we're looking for. We're looking for, data on this General Jones. If we go back to those ruins, we might find some stuff. And give you a chance to roleplay some trauma there.
Oh, good.
Well,
yes,
if he's,
yes.
Do you guys?
General Jones went to Valhalla. We could always
There's the
beg,
If he did.
beg the hella.
So
That's a great idea.
here.
I think Hela could bring him from hell or Valhalla if she oversees both.
Although Minnie said it took a lot of energy to do just that little bit.
Yeah.
but there happens to be what I would imagine a second radiant capacitor in this facility powering it.
Oh.
Put two and two together, or one and one together, you get a lot of power.
One thing that I this is exclusive info for those loyal enough to watch us here tonight. Beep.
Sorry.
So, Emmy Nifrim, until she ran into a Valkyr facility, never failed opening an electronic door. The DC for Nifrim's Fregna device, 2. For any door not controlled by Minnie.
Wow. Did you know that? No.
Me? I had no fucking clue. In fact, we stayed up until 1 o'clock in the morning after that episode, and I was like, Steve mentioned that to me, and I was like, oh my god, I've never realized that I've never failed, or I've always succeeded in unlocking doors. But I also have always rolled pretty fucking good.
Unless it was reprogrammed by an AI.
Yeah.
So, I think that's our next step. We need to go check out those ruins. Find out more about General Jones.
Oh, fuck, I need to build those ruins. Fuck.
I do have a question. So, when I cast Enlarge on Sideric, does Sideric get buffs? Does his normal stuff get... Yeah. Does his attack
really
get higher?
It gets a plus a d4 damage, I believe.
So I can enlarge in a creature or object. So what if I enlarge in the radiant capacitor?
Y'all want to fuck with some nuclear physics?
Yes.
Y'all want to fuck with some interdimensional physics?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I mean, that
Let's
sounds
break
amazing.
Space time.
First, give me some cheese. I need cheese first.
Give me cheese or give me death.
I can enlarge in some cheese for you.
We gotta fucking break space time in this campaign, folks. Let's go.
Campaign 1 ended early because Tyler blew up the universe.
It's like if y'all ever played Outer Wilds and like you do that thing with the black and white hole, and it's like you broke space-time and the game just fucking ends.
Oh, wow. I've never played Outer Wilds before.
So good.
It is very good. It is very, very good.
Don't read into it before you play it, but definitely play it. Go in
Absolutely not. It is an experience. It's not a video game. It's fucking incredible.
Agreed.
Viv says, not a question, just wanted to say I love you all, and I also didn't skim over General Jones. I made a note of him in my brain. Of course, you highlighted it in Steve's notes. When we love you,
I noticed that.
We wouldn't be doing this show without you guys, so thank you all so much for your support and continued interest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, and with that being said, does anybody have anything else they want to talk about tonight?
Any questions about the Beeflaker recordings now that you know more?
I have
Was
a question.
General Jones in any of them?
General Jones?
The name was never mentioned. Closest you heard was LT.
Damn.
Does anyone know what LT stands for?
Lieutenant?
Yeah.
My question is, when can I get a fucking elephant?
Keep asking. I bet he'll give it to you.
Yeah, keep asking.
I think he gave
the more
you
you
the
ask,
answer.
the more the price goes up.
Listen, I've never asked.
Steve is holding it hostage for a raise.
I never
You give him a
asked
raise, he'll
for
give you an
level.
elephant.
I have never once asked if we've leveled yet. I've only asked for an elephant.
You just
This is a dungeon.
Now
We
you
should be
de-level.
leveling.
We do?
We should be leveling. He said, it's a dungeon. We're going to be out of the dungeon, so...
Once you make your decision and get the fuck out, maybe.
Can I marry
We go
Minnie?
in, Marcus breaks the terminal.
No, as progressive as Thorin is, marriage between artificial and biological life is still outlawed.
What if there's a...
Sorry, Marcus.
It's fucking just rude.
It's too late for Marcus. He already did it.
He already did it.
But I got his tattoo and everything.
Oh my god.
Marcus is a side piece, and he's fine with that.
You're his Gamar.
Oh my god. So, Marcus, have you ever had sex with Thor? Maybe we'll find out next time, but that's a story for next time.
Nailed it.
I'm so good at this.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. I've had a fucking blast tonight, getting some answers and kind of exploring some theories. I love this shit so much. And thank you for being interested enough to be here to ask questions. And if you got any questions and you're watching this on YouTube, leave them down in the comments below. And then come to our Discord, discord.forgelore.com, to ask those questions to us in person, because we'll answer.
We're in there every day, folks. I have notifications on for general chat. I know.
Yep.
I'm in there every day.
And leading in, we really need to fit in a long rest here soon. So if there's any long-term questions that you have, go ahead and, I believe we have a long rest channel for questions. Go ahead and pop your questions in there.
Yes. And as a sign-off, maybe we'll see you next time on a long rest. # the show that sometimes happens. See you later.